Hey Macpackers, I'm here with Jack and we're going to find out how he got his start in AFL. Hey Jack, how old were you when you first started playing football?
Well, I first started, really young. I just have a kick with my dad around the backyard, but seriously got into it when I was about 8 years old. Used to go down to my local footy centre and play on a Sunday. I juggled that with a little bit of other sport. I played soccer on Saturdays and yeah, really got into footy when I was 14 years old and luckily enough to be where I am now.
When did you decide that you were going to focus on football instead of soccer?
Oh look, it was probably grade 8 where I decided that I was really going to take footy up seriously, and it was around the time my cousin got drafted to St Kilda, so I sort of had a role model there to step into his shoes and really just ask a lot of questions of. So he was probably the one guy that got me over the line, and yeah, really took up footy and was lucky enough to get picked up by Richmond, and now I'm playing in the AFL.
How did you get drafted into Richmond? Did a scout come and watch you play footy, or what's your advice to kids that want to get drafted?
Yeah, look, I think the biggest thing is these days there's so many pathways into the AFL system. Obviously the TAC Cup, which is the main one in Victoria where a lot of under 18 kids are picked up, that's probably the main way of getting into the AFL. But I was lucky enough to play junior footy, so coming from Tassie, there's no under 18 comp. I played seniors and against some fully grown men and got picked up through that. But I think the major point is these days that you can get picked up through anywhere. You see guys like James Podsiadly from Geelong. Jake King's a guy at our football club who was 26 years old before he got his first game of AFL. So if you've got a dream of playing AFL, I think the biggest one is just to never give up on it, and you never know, there could be a pathway there for you.
And what would your advice be to young kids that don't make it on that first go? And do they talk to their coaches? Did you have coaches that helped you out?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is in football, and you learn from a young age, there's always going to be a few setbacks. So you've just got to make sure that you continue to ask people where you can get better. So I always found out that I wasn't the world's greatest runner, so I'd try and do as much running, I'd try and do as much training to make myself as fit as possible. And that's where it is. So I figured out what my deficiencies were, and yeah, tried to get better at that and trained hard, and most importantly, I just enjoyed what I did. So if you enjoy it and you work on the things you're not so great at, then hopefully you can get into the system. And
never put too much pressure on yourself. Make sure you're always having fun.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing, and you still see these days, in AFL, like the best games I play are the ones where I enjoy the most, so I'm having the most fun. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Enjoy what you do and go out and have a kick with your mates.
And what's it like in your family when Richmond plays St Kilda? Is that a fun one when you go against your cousin?
Yeah, my grandparents are slowly starting to lean to the side of Richmond. So obviously Nick's been at St Kilda now for a long time and he's been the captain there, but the Saints are on the way out and the Tigers are on the way up. So look, it's exciting times, and we do have a few family feuds. Christmases are always very interesting as well. So a bit of fun, but look, it's great to have, as I said, it was great for me to have someone who I could really use as a role model.
Tell me about your first AFL game. Was it really nerve-wracking?
Yeah, it was. Look, I was only 18 years old and it was my first year at Richmond. I've been playing some pretty good footy for Coburg, the reserves, and yeah, got the call up round 9, dream time at the G, which is a pretty big game, Richmond versus Essendon. So I didn't get many kicks that night, but enjoyed myself. My family came over and watched me play, and it's something that I'll always hold pretty high in my football career.
What about when you don't get picked every week? Obviously, do you get a little bit sad, or is it okay because your team still goes out and plays?
Yeah, look, that's probably the biggest one that a lot of our younger guys struggle with. I'm in the fortunate position that I've played sort of 70 games in a row now, so I'm starting to build a reasonably good base. But a lot of our guys do come in and get picked one week and then get picked, not picked the next week. So it can be disappointing, but we have people at the club that go in there and they make sure they're feeling right. But the playing group as well are really important with that, to follow up with younger guys, help them out, as I said, and teach them what they can improve in. So there's always the downs, but hopefully there's more ups coming for them in the future.
So it's all about the team effort.
Exactly, and that's the thing. The 44 players don't fit into 22 every week, so there's always going to be guys that miss out, but it's the way that you support your friends, it's the way that you support your mates, and we all play for the Richmond Football Club.
Well, there you go, Macpackers. Don't give up, and you could run out on the MCG one day, just like Jack does every week with Richmond.